Hi, I'm Joni Patry, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Well, today we're going to look at the last week of February, what's in store for us. And this is mainly so you can use these days on a personal level. What are these days good for? And what do you need to know? So before we get going into February 22nd through the 29th, let me remind everyone to sign up for my Patreon page. There you're going to get exclusive information you can't get anywhere else. Be on live chat with me. Join my shooting stars. Get my magazine free. Everything. This is a huge opportunity. So look into it. Go to galacticcenter.org, sign up for my free newsletter, and join Patreon. So with that, let's get going. What's happening this week, this last week of February? So I'm looking at February 22nd. And still this day, we have Venus and Mars exactly conjunct. That's like they're in planetary war. This means things have to be worked out in what? Relationships. Absolutely, relationships. And they go from the seventh house, from the moon, seventh house from the moon, this Venus-Mars conjunction. This is so powerful for working out relationships. Things that are incomplete will come to completion. Now we have the moon, of course, is in Cancer. And it's going to be in Cancer all day, but it's going to change into the nakshatra from Pushya into Astrology around 5:15 a.m. Central Standard Time. This represents a deep need for what? Protection. Astrology is a very tricky nakshatra. As a matter of fact, its symbol is a snake, and it can mean people that can be kind of sneaky and not forthcoming with information. Be aware of that. But all at the same time, Astrology is a great nakshatra for business. And with the Venus-Mars being seventh from the moon, it's time you can really work out some business deals and make sure your partnerships are on the up and up, and finally find some peace. And it may take a little bit, but you can get there. So with the moon being in Cancer, though, it's always about finding our sense of security. And let me just say this is a good day for business because Jupiter sits in the 10th house from the moon, bringing expansion and good things in the area of business deals. If you have your own business, it is time to expand. It's time to work out things with partners. And or if you're looking for a raise or trying to find a job, it's a great day to do so. Move forward with career, anything that helps you promote trying to find your sense of purpose today. All right, let's move to February 23rd. This will be where the moon is going to go into Leo today. So this is the full moon. Today, the moon is going to be full at 11 degrees of Leo. So this is a powerful, powerful full moon. It actually takes place in the nakshatra called Magha. And Magha is about leadership, kingship, rulership. It's a time to find your sense of responsibility. Be your own leader. Find what you're into. And this will actually have a great deal dealing with leadership in governments. Now, today the moon is being aspected by Jupiter, gives it power, but it's also being aspected by opposition with Saturn. So this is a day of give and take. Plus, I do think it's a day of manifestation in terms of you finding your sense of leadership and who you really are. Also, while the moon is in Magha, it's time that we really want to get in touch with our heritage, our family, where we've come from. There's a sense of needing to know these things during this day, and maybe you'll get some kind of indication of connection to family. from the past. This will bring a new inspiration of wanting to discover these things about who you are. It's also a day to look for spirituality because Jupiter's actually in the 9th house from the moon. And it's a day you can learn new things, take courses, classes, read more about spirituality and the truth. One last thing, it is a good day for travels because Jupiter is in the 9th house from the moon. Now, the moon will go into Maga. It's going to be there all day, but it enters into Maga at 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. And Maga is also Leo. So the moon will enter Leo and Maga at 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. Now, let's move forward to February 24th. February 24th, the moon will be in Leo all day, and it will change from Maga into the nakshatra Purva Falguni. Now, this will happen around 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. So this is a nakshatra of creativity and talent and expression. Now, while Jupiter is in the 9th house from the moon, this is a great day that you can go on travels. Traveling is good. Learning higher-minded things, taking classes, connecting better with your father or even with a teacher that can give you guidance. That's what this day is really, really good for. And don't forget creative ventures. This is fantastic for all creative ventures and social events. This nakshatra is extraordinarily social. I've often called it the party nakshatra. So connect better with friends and groups and use this day to its best advantage. Now let's go to the next day, which is going to be February 25th. Now we still have the moon in Leo, but of course it's going to change nakshatras. On the 25th, though, it will change out of Leo into Virgo around 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. So for the most part, the moon's going to be in Leo, but the last degrees of Leo, till it will change into Virgo. So it will be in the nakshatra of Uttara Falguni, which both Purva and Uttara are very social nakshatras. So while it's in Leo, you're going to find coming together with friends and social events being exactly what this day is good for. So it brings fun into your life, let me just say that. But looking at the 25th, when the moon does change into Uttara Falguni from Purva, it will be 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. And Uttara Falguni is more about friendships and groups and organizations come together with creative projects with your friends. That's what it's good for. And let's move forward to February 26th, where the moon will be in Virgo. And as I said, the moon moves into Virgo the day before, and it will be later in the day, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, February 25th. So February 26th, the moon's in Virgo all day. And this day is interesting because Mars is going to be squaring Jupiter. So this is like a hard-nosed aspect. With Mars, Mars is exalted in Capricorn, Jupiter's in Aries, and they're kind of, hitting it off in a contentious type aspect. So be aware to lay low. Don't try to prove your point. It's not going to help. People are going to be a little bit more difficult to deal with this. And I think the area that there's going to be most contentious with are family matters. Don't try to push your point with your parents or your family. Just try to lay low and, hey, let them think they're right gives them great pleasure, right? Because what's a saying in the Course in Miracles that I love to say? Would you rather be right or would you rather be happy? Take that into account around the family on the 26th of February. Try to be the peacemaker. That will be the best thing that you can possibly do. So let's see. So the moon's in Virgo all day, which brings a better awareness to what? Our health and healing. And as the moon is coming upon K2, it's going to be where we need to start worrying more about our health and health issues, because there is going to be another potential scare around viruses, because that's what K2 can bring. But once again, I think we're over it after going through COVID, and I don't think it's anything to really be afraid of. So, but it is a time to get healthy and focus in on our health. And the moon will enter the nakshatra Hasta. Hasta is the nakshatra that rules that's the hand. But Hasta, it will enter Hasta 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. And this will intensify feelings, emotions, but particularly around the mind, because the moon is the mind and Hasta is a very powerful nakshatra. It will bring intensity and focus to the mind during this time. And also, like I said before, focus in on getting healthy. Okay, let's move to February 27th. The moon will be conjuncting K2 this day, and that's the day that can bring up intense fear. Just remember that fear is what breeds disease, and disease breeds fear. Do not be consumed with fear. That's what is the worst part. And know that the energy is moving you towards this, but you don't have to go there. So another thing that's happening this day is the Sun and Mercury are exactly conjunct. This is called the superior conjunction. It means when Mercury's not retrograde and it's moving quite fast. But this will also give an importance to the thinking mind, being focused. Plus the moon being in Hasta, this is a great day to get mental work done. But remember this, with the moon with K2, you're definitely more insightful and more psychic and aware during this day. But there will be some insecurities in the markets, in the stock markets. I have found when the moon comes together with K2, the stock markets usually go down. So watch that. See if there's not some kind of fear put out in the world about the economy and the markets. And of course, this could be relative to some kind of health scare going on. Now, the moon will shift out of Hasta into the nakshatra Chitra around 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. And this will lessen the effects of fear around the world. So let's move on into February 28th. And February 28th, yes, there will be a much lighter feel around this time, because the moon will move into Libra. And the moon will enter Libra around 9:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. And with this, the moon moves into a position where it is opposed Jupiter. And the moon opposed Jupiter is always a positive. It's being aspected by the energy of the great benefic that brings us optimism, opportunities, and expansion. So, and with it being in the 7th house from the moon, it's always about relationships and love and harmony. And that's what the sign Libra is all about. Libra is about peace and love, right? So let's move with it today. And another thing that's going on today, though, is the sun is exactly conjunct Saturn. And what's kind of interesting is that Saturn, Sun, Mercury, they're all together and they're together in the nakshatra called Shatabishak. That nakshatra is called the 100 Healers. So maybe this health scare has initiated some new types of healing and forward movement with how we look at healing disease and getting it together in the world, where we're not consumed with fear around this area after what we went through with COVID. So there's going to be great progress in the area of health and healing. So look for that. So the moon on the 28th will move into the nakshatra called Swati very late in the day, almost the next day. It'll be around 11 p.m. Central Standard Time. So for the most part, the moon's in Chitra while it's in Libra, and eventually it will go into Swati late in the day. So let's move forward to the next day, the last day of February, February 29th. We have an extra day this month. So that's interesting. For those of you that are born on February 29th, you get a birthday for a change. That must be really weird. So anyway, you have what? I don't know, whenever it's leap year, it's like you get a birthday. But let's talk about where the moon is, because the moon will be in Libra all day today. I love the moon in Libra. It's ruled by Venus. It represents harmony and peace. So the moon is in opposition to Jupiter. Very auspicious, happy day. So we end on a good note in the month of February. And it's a time for love and affection. And Jupiter is nearing Uranus, so there's all sorts of big events that are brewing for the last part of this month before we move into March. We've got lots and lots that are coming together. It's a good day for finding peace and love in family matters. The Venus is in the 4th house from the moon, so is Mars. It means you can work things through and find a sense of peace where there wasn't any in family matters. So things can be worked out and healed. And another thing is looking at this, the Sun and Saturn go to the 5th house, which means with Mercury, 5th house from the moon, so things are being able to be worked out and new ideas are starting to brew for what's coming in the springtime, since this is the last day of the month. But it is a good day to end this month because it deals with harmony, love, and appreciation in our relationships. So this concludes my month of February. I hope you've enjoyed it. So we're going to have a different format for March because I don't know if you guys realize this, but this is so much work. I hope you appreciate all that I'm doing with this to figure out where the moon is every day. Nakshatra and sign is really hard work, but it is the work of an astrologer. I'm doing this as a favor to help everyone better plan their days and know what each day is good for. So with that, remember, if you want to learn astrology, I have a university of Vedicastrology.com. But also remember, I keep telling you about my Patreon. I'm telling you it's a way to go. It's where you're going to get so much more information from me than even this can deliver. And this is a lot of astrological information. So with that, I'll close. Thank you for listening, and I appreciate you.